This is Harry Maguire, and chances are you've probably heard of him before.
Hi there, good evening. We start with breaking news.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Potter!
Despite the achievements throughout his career, he is ridiculed by people around the world, even his own fans.
The guy is an absolute clown every time he comes on the pitch.
If I'm Harry Maguire, I'm looking for a new club right now.
Get rid of Harry Maguire! Get rid of Harry Maguire!
So it begs the question, why? Why is he so disrespected? This is the story of the up and down career of Harry Maguire. On the 5th of March 1993, a boy named Jacob Harry Maguire was born in English city, Sheffield. From the age of 7, he joined his local team, Sheffield United, and worked his way all the way up through the academy to the age of 17, where thanks to the senior team struggling with relegation in the 11-12 season, he was given a chance to play. In his first game, he came on at half-time and played well, earning him the Man of the Match award. He made a further 4 more appearances that season for the club, but it wasn't enough as they were relegated from the Championship into League One. Because of this relegation, Sheffield United were forced to sell some of their best players in order to stay financially stable, and because of this, they couldn't sign anyone to replace them. And that's why they called upon Harry Maguire, who managed to cement himself in the first team for the upcoming season. He played a combined 161 games over the next 3 seasons for the Blades, helping them reach the semi-finals of the FA Cup and the semi-finals of the League Cup, and in the process being part of League One's PFA Team of the Year in 2012. After interest from many different clubs, he joined Premier League and Europa League side Hull City at the beginning of the 14-15 season. Now this was a huge leap for Maguire, going from League One all the way up to the Premier League in one move. It was never going to be easy, and sure enough, after playing just 6 games, he was loaned out to Championship side Wigan Athletic on a 6-month deal. He would go ahead and start the 16 games for Wigan in the remainder of that season. Meanwhile, back in Hull, their side was struggling in the Prem, and after a fierce battle to try and stay up, they were relegated back to the Championship on the final day. In a similar fashion to Sheffield United, Hull were forced to sell some of their best players and couldn't afford to replace them, and that is exactly where Maguire came in. He became part of the squad, playing 33 games in all competitions, including the playoff final, where thanks to him and other players, Hull City were promoted back to the Premier League. However, despite having players like Maguire, Bowen, Ryan Mason and even Andy Robertson, fate played out a similar way and they were relegated back down to the Championship the same season. Despite the relegation, Maguire's performances weren't overshadowed, and after a bit of negotiation, he joined Leicester City the next season for a fee of £12 million. His time at Leicester began well as he was cemented into their back 4. He played game after game after game for Leicester, putting in a shift time after time after time again. Despite the season being poor for Leicester compared to the previous 2 seasons, Maguire still showed he was worth every single penny. He played at Leicester for 2 seasons, playing 76 games in the process. However, what was to happen next would change his life forever. On the 2nd of August 2019, Leicester City accepted a bid of £80 million from Manchester United for Harry Maguire. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Maguire in the team to try and improve their poor back line at the time. The £80 million price tag set upon him was more expensive than the £75 million price tag Liverpool paid for Van Dijk, meaning Maguire was now the most expensive midfielder in the world. No pressure, right? He made his debut in the opening game against Chelsea, where in all fairness, he showed a 10 out of 10 performance as United beat Chelsea 4-0 and Maguire was handed man of the match. His first few months at the club were all going well. He was playing well, and just 6 months into the journey at United, he was handed the captain's armband following the departure of Ashley Young. The main reason for this was because he was one of the only players in the squad to play every single game, and sure enough, he literally played every single second of the 1920 season, and rightfully so. His stream of good performances earned him the spot in the back row, also because it was either him or Phil Jones. After a fairly successful first season, all he had to do was continue the way he began. But little did he know that his whole career and even his whole life was about to spiral into epileptic despairs of chaos. You see, up to this point, Maguire had the whole world of football watching his every step. I mean, come on, he was the most expensive defender in the world and captain of the infamous Manchester United. All it took was a single mistake and his reputation would come crashing down. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened. Maguire began making constant mistakes in games, some being minor slip-ups, but some being so critical that they could cost the team some valuable points. These mistakes caused major backlash from the media and the fans, causing him to mess up even more. This leads us to the 21-22 season, otherwise known as by far Maguire's worst season ever. Now, in all fairness, the season started amazingly. The club signed Sancho, Varane and reunited with Cristiano Ronaldo. The whole squad looked brilliant. However, fate would think differently, as this would go on to be for sure the worst season the club has ever had in the Premier League. And in all fairness, quite a lot of it was down to Maguire. The team conceded 57 goals that season, the most since 1978. I could cover all of Maguire's mistakes, however that would turn this 10-minute video into a 4-hour movie. I'll be straight up honest with you here and say Maguire was absolutely abysmal that season. His play was sloppy, his distribution was sloppy, and his defending... Let's not go there. It's safe to say he had the entire world turned on him. Things got so bad that he got a bomb threat from his house and was forced to evacuate for the police to search his house. At the end of the season, Ajax manager Erik ten Hag was appointed as the new boss, and rightfully so. He had no mercy on Maguire. He signed Martinez to replace him and demoted him to at one point 4th choice centre back. He was stripped of his captain's armband, which was given to Bruno Fernandes, and was forced to watch games from the bench, starting just 8 games that season, and that was only because of Martinez's injury. It was looking like the end of the road for Maguire. His opportunities at United were becoming slimmer, and after the club agreed a fee of 30 million with West Ham for the player, it was the end for Maguire at United. But what if he had one more chance? You see, there was still unfinished business that only he could complete. He rejected West Ham with the intent to stay at United. He was desperate to get back into that first team. He worked tirelessly day to night, awake to sleep. He spent every second he could trying to prove to not only himself, but to the people that doubted him and ridiculed him most, that he could do it. He began the 23-24 season on the bench, but that didn't stop him. He put everything he had into his training, and sure enough, he was given a chance. Ten Hag saw how much he was improving, and he was given his starting spot back after replacing Varane in the starting lineups. This was a chance to show what he was worth, and sure enough, he did exactly that. He helped the team to the last grasp 2-1 win to Brentford, providing the final assist for McTominay's winner. He scored the winner against Copenhagen in the Champions League to secure United with 3 crucial points. And after 3 stellar performances in November 2023, helping the club keep 3 clean sheets in a row, Maguire was given the Premier League Player of the Month to mark probably the most incredible comeback known in football. So it begs the question, why is he still so disrespected to this day despite all these highs? Well, to me, I think it simply comes down to the past. A, he was labelled as the most expensive defender ever, and B, he was handed the captain's armband within just 6 months of being at the club. The pressure set upon him was so big that when it came to a simple mistake, He was criticised more and his confidence was harshly affected as a result. His mistakes and failures come to mind before his highs and successes, which is purely unfair. But the thing is, there's another player in this Man United squad that is not only completely disrespected, but also widely hated. And you can find out who that is by clicking this video here. If you know who I'm talking about, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. See ya.